Welcome to MeatballCraft, episode 53. Today, we're going to get the Mortum star. Right, so I've had a look at everything we need to make the Mortum star, and it's not the easiest thing in the world. I want to try and automate this Ruthenium anyway, because I think the fluid form of it is used in the definer, yeah. So we might as well automate that now, because we'll need it anyway. And that's the hardest one. I've written notes so I can remember what we have to do. So the Ruthenium's the worst. It would require, obviously, the ingot in a inertial confinement reactor. We need zirconium, which is fairly easy. It's just smelting the dust, which comes from rock crushing. Right, so that's nice and easy, but the other half is very hard, which is the crystalline beryllium, which we have made before. So we've got to make alchemical crystals, which require these 3 ascended gems. And actually the best way to get that is by centrifuging. Where is it? Okay, no, it's the ore I'm thinking of. To get the ore, the best way to get the ore, I think, is through the Shire combs, which we've already got the Shire B, so we can make the Shire combs and then we get the ascended gems really easily. So that's fine, and that can just go in a crafter. We also need beryllium fluoride crystals, which is a crystallizer of molten beryllium fluoride. Molten beryllium just comes from the rock crushing andesite, which is easy, but the fluorine is always just annoying. I think still the best way is to get it from the B. So I'll need to get a couple more dentist combs. I don't know if we can do this. I don't know what the cinder logs are. No, we can't do that yet. That's coming up. So we'll just have to use the B the normal way, but that's fine. I don't quite know how much. We'll need a fair bit, but I mean, it's good to passive anyway. And then the final part is the Emerald seeds, which are kind of incredibly annoying, but on the chapter 8 part of the Discord, it does actually tell you how to do it. So that's fine. It just needs a bit of setting up. The rest of them are less complicated, but still a little annoying. The hassium's easy, that's just from an egg. This Serum just needs a crafting recipe of attuned rock crystals, which is really easy. We've done that, and this resplendent stuff. We might be able to now set up this whispering fountain now that we have whispering starlight, so maybe I'll do that just so we can get resplendent on passive. I think that's probably a good idea. And yeah, so those ones are fairly easy. This is Neo-beum, which is just pulverized mermanite, which I've put back onto being made because it wasn't being made for quite a while, and Neo-beum, which is also a definer fluid. And Neo-beum is really easy. It's just molten titanium in a high impulse accelerator, so we do need to build another one of these, but I think that should be fine now. And the last, there's 2 more things. So one of them is the hafnium and the other one's the tantalum, and these are both sort of similar recipes. They both use messy rainbow fluid. This one takes mithril ore, which we thankfully find in the ore miner, but tantalum needs star metal ore, and the only way to get that is through this. I mean, can I make these now? Yes. I might be able to make a sort of mechanical, usury, maybe formation plane thing to actually make the ore. That's probably easier, I think, because if I can, because it links to the block and then it still works. Yeah, the connection will remain even after the block is broken. Yeah, so maybe I'll just do that. That's probably the easiest way, actually. And finally, the messy rainbow fluid is rainbow stone melted. So I probably should sort of maybe think about passiving the stone burnt and the rainbow generator, even though I would rather not, but we'll see. I've set up a little temporary system based on a comment, so I've actually put a flux plug specifically on the rainbow generator because it makes 25 million RF per tick, and this does not transfer that much, so just so I don't waste any of the power, because it does produce a lot of power. And apparently if you put a timer on for 11 ticks, which I think is 0.55 seconds, if there's 20 ticks in a second, then it uses less fuel but doesn't cause us to stop at all. So yeah, perfect. My next task, I think I'm going to see if I can make some upgrade speed. These ones. I don't have the drops of evil, but I'm sure if I could get them quite easily. And I've got the evil infused in this. Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing to do next, just to keep this sped up. I'm also making a lot of stone burnt, just ordering it. It's probably not the most efficient way to do it, but we'll see. And the best way to get drops of evil is just to set up an ultimate mob farm and Torturino it. So hopefully we can get 4 stacks pretty quick. And now I have 64 ultimate speed upgrades, which I mean should work. We've got infinite GP, so I don't think this should be a problem. So let's switch that out. Yeah, that's fine. Let's turn this on and just see how fast it is now. Oh, I mean, that's That's pretty fast. I don't think it needs to be much faster than that, to be honest. So yeah, that's sort of semi-automatic rainbow generator, potentially, and it's generating tons of power. Let's see how much we're getting. Oh my goodness, 100 million RF per tick. That's pretty insane. Interestingly, I can torturino just the resonator, so the fuel's not getting used up at any faster rate than it already was, I wouldn't imagine anyway. No, it's still going pretty slow. And we're generating the rainbow stone impossibly fast, so I mean, that's quite a good system. I probably just batchcraft a lot. I don't really know how much we'll need. I don't want to just leave this on. Not that it really matters. It's not like we'd actually really end up wasting anything, to be honest. I think, what's the worst one? No, that's even been lasting quite a long time. What about Dragon's Breath and Bones and stuff? No, it's all lasting quite a long time, actually. So maybe we can leave this on for a little bit until the stone burn's nearly out already. So yeah, I mean, this is quite an efficient setup. This was a good idea when I started it. Now halfway through, when the colours are getting too similar, it's getting a bit confusing. But this is basically sort of the area I kind of want to do defined in. I'm probably aware that some of the multi-blocks will not be a 15 by 15, or they'll be bigger, and some are way more complicated than others, but I just kind of wanted an area where I could do everything. So this would be for silver, again or tin, even this is tin. I mean, that would just be a melter and some tin, but it's nice to have like an even space, and I wanted it to look just like when you look up the recipe for defined, which is like this, which I thought would be quite cool, apart from the fact that despite all the wood I collected, it's not quite enough. And also the ceramic blocks that I've been using for some of them don't work with the unbreakable wand, which is such a pain, having to place all of that. Also, I haven't lit any of this up, so we get to practice with the shuriken, which is nice, but it's going all right. I just thought, since we're going to, I don't know if Serum is, that's going to be one of the ones in, they're all basically used and defined. I thought, why not have a little massive platform? It's just near the base, there's this. It's very large. I would have done it more of a square, but I just wanted to look just like the picture, so there we go. And don't be disappointed in me if I start repeating colours though. And there we have it. Apart from lights, a full platform for us to start working on some different chemicals. So obviously some of them are really easy, so like iron and gold and platinum, blah blah blah. Some will be really hard, some will be different. So I think Neodymium's one of these ones, and then we can work on the other ones. They should all actually, I think, tantalum, tantalum's one of them, hafnium's one of them. So I think it's good just to have these. Neo-beum's one of them, this one, so I was right, it's about here, I think. So yeah, there we go. A nice base for defined and the various other things that we'll need to do. Okay, so this is my semi-finished system for Ruthenium. The only thing we need now is to make an inertial confinement reactor again. But apart from that, it's pretty much done. So it's a little bit complicated, so I'll go through each bit by bit. So we need two things to make Ruthenium. We need the crystalline beryllium and the zirconium. So let's start with zirconium. That's nice and easy. Here is a rock crusher. It's crushing diorite, and we get zirconium dust, and that gets smelted into zirconium, and that's the easiest one, and that's half of it sort of done. Next, we will have the crystals. So I have a Shire B here, and that is producing us the Shire combs, and that gets put in a centrifugal separator and turns into 4 ores: emberstone, ascended jade, sapphire and amethyst. These get pulverized into their gem variants and put into a crafter to be crafted into alchemical crystal. Next, we need crystals, these beryllium fluoride crystals. Okay, and to make them, we use a Dentist B, which I was going to put these in here. This Dentist B produces the fluoride combs, which melts into fluoride, which would be going into here, or fluorine, actually it's not fluoride, fluorine, which would go into here. This goes into a chemical reactor and is mixed with molten beryllium, which is a nice easy system where we are rock crushing andesite, making beryllium dust. The beryllium dust is put in a melter and buffered here and goes into the chemical reactor. This produces the beryllium fluoride, and since I don't think that's used for anything as a liquid, it all gets crystallized into beryllium fluoride crystals. Now, here comes the most complicated part, which I got from the chapter 8 tips part of the Discord. It's pinned, and this is the Emeralis seeds. So I got the Emeralis seeds. They're 10, 10, 10, so they grow faster, and they have to be 1, 1, 1 or 10, 10, 10 for this to work. So firstly, we have a simulation chamber with the Shadow Lord data model, which is making us treated wood. This is going into a crafter to produce crop sticks, which go into this mechanical user right here. On this side, we have a mechanical user that will break a block. Here we have 2 Emeralis seeds, and this one is what the mechanical user plants. I don't know why it plants one away, but it does. So these 2 will mutate, or not mutate, will spread to this crop stick and produce us emerald nuggets, the crop sticks again, and Emeralis seeds. These buffer in a small storage crate. I'm just chucking away the emeralds and the crop sticks. We can make infinite, so there's really no point keeping them and doing a round robin system unless this runs out, which I don't think it will, especially because I've got this on with the Torturino, and if I turn this off, yeah, it's quite a lot slower. So I didn't want to buffer it and clog up the system with crop sticks, and I think we'll probably make enough treated wood to sort it all out, even though it does feel like a bit of a waste. But then I think that's how it works, because for some reason that feels like it's going way too fast and that I will just break it before it ever gets a chance to spread, but we'll see. Anyway, this makes us the Emeralis seeds, which go all into this craft. I have taken everything from all around, so the Emeralis seeds, the ascended whatchamacallits, which actually I haven't put on extract, which is why there isn't any in the system, and also this crystal, which I've also forgot to put on extract, which is clever of me. These will go into this crafter. Now I've extracted them all, and it crafts pretty slowly. I don't know why we're not getting, I thought I had more of it than that. Do I not? No, I don't have very much of that because of the fluorine. But yeah, anyway, that crafts into the crystalline beryllium, and there we go, that's the system. So now all I need to do is make the thing that will make ruthenium, and we'll have a passive supply of ruthenium, and obviously to actually use the definer we'll need to melt it. That's just a melter. So yeah, pretty easy. And all fitting within this one chunk. Before I started that, I got a bit confused, and I did already set up this liquid for the defined, which is just the molten zirconium. It's the same recipe with the rock crushers melting the dust, but there we go. So now we have 2 defined fluids, actually almost passive, so that's pretty good. I've made the thing, inertial confinement reactor. It's all hooked up. Again, the bottleneck is this crystalline beryllium thing, but if I go up to the top, we should have ruthenium. It's not a quest though, so it didn't do a thing, but there we go. Ruthenium made completely passive, actually. There, that's one setup complete. That was so fun. I had such a good time. I've been so looking forward to Defined, just because I like the idea of making a little setup for each ingot. And it hasn't disappointed. This was really fun. I know they're not all so complicated, and some of them are probably way more complicated, but no, that one was good. I enjoyed that. And here is the Neo-beum setup. So it's really, really simple. We just have the high impulse accelerator, and we are extracting titanium from the system. I've made a new special defined ender chest, just so anything for defined can go into there. This gets melted in a melter to make molten titanium, which goes into the machine. There's a small buffer here just in case we don't really need it. This fills in so much anyway, and this just turns it straight into Neo-beum, and then we just need to mix the Neo-beum with mermanite dust, and we'll get the Neobite, whatever that is. It is expensive power wise. We have tons of power though, so I don't think 10 million RF is really going to be a problem. I mean, it's what, a little bit of a rainbow generator being on, so having this running shouldn't really be a problem. But in regards to our titanium, I wasn't quite sure. Yeah, it halves it, so I don't want to have a black hole tank and then kind of drain all our titanium, but I can increase this buffer. I think 4,096 buckets will probably be fine. It doubles, so that's about 8,000 defined ingots just from this barrel of Neo-beum. So yeah, that's another one sort of done. As we had a little bit of extra space over here, I have just put the Neobite, whatever, production over here. I'm just taking it from this drum, putting it into the fluid infuser. It's infusing Mormonite dust, and we're getting this. This is only used for the Mortum star. We get 2 per thing, so we can do an invisibility modifier. So while we need a lot of it, this draw will give us 4,096 stars. So I'm fine just kind of passiving it over here and just putting the Mormonite in when and if I need it, I think. So yes, technically not part of defined, but I don't think it is anyway. Can't melt it. No. So not part of defined, but it's just easier to put the setup here. For the rainbow fluid that I need to make the hafnium and the tantalum chunk, I am just putting a melter on this. I'm making another 10,000 stone burnt to kick this off in a bit, and we should be fine. So yeah, this is, I think that's a big enough buffer. I'll just ender tank it over, since you need it in 2 places. And for fun, I made it the primary colours because that fits the best, I'd say. Next time I use ender tanks in a pack, remind me to go in a systematic order rather than just what feels the best, because I keep forgetting which colours I've used and which I haven't, and I feel like it's going to become a problem in the near future. So the easiest setup out of these 2 chunk ones is hafnium, and that is just the messy rainbow stuff and mithril ore, which I'm getting from the void miner in a fluid infuser. I've not upgraded this draw because we're taking non-infinite resources. Technically they're infinite, but until I know quite how much we need, I'm just going to leave it as a base draw for 2048. We can upgrade it if we need, that's fine. So yeah, that's hafnium done. Obviously we'd need to melt it for the defined, but I'm going to leave it solid for now because that's how we'll need it in the coming future. So here is our star metal ore system. I was trying to make a collector crystal, but it doesn't seem to work. So I have put the iron ore here in this, I think it's near where we actually had spawned. So just, yeah, that's our old like house place. So it's really simple. It's just formation planes and annihilation planes. We have formation planes on one network with just iron ore going to a draw from the environmental miners. They place down here. Yes, I could actually probably have more, but whatever, 3 will do. And then the annihilation planes will only break the star metal ore, as it's the only storage space it actually has. This has a storage bus with insert only, and this has an import bus. It didn't work otherwise. I'm not quite sure why. I'm not an expert at AE2 or anything, but yeah, that's working. This is just connected to these 3 blocks, and we're slowly making star metal ore. I think that should be enough. Whoa, what hurt me? Oh, hello. So yeah, that's all sorted. I can chuck this away, and oh, it cooked it for me. Yeah, so that's the star metal. I've chunk loaded this area. It's a shame we can't have it over with everything else, but whatever, it'll do. And the system to actually make the chunks of tantalum is the same as this one, just with a fluid infuser, but it's taking star metal instead. This one is a bit slow, obviously, because of the star metal not just being instant, but you get 3 at a time instead of 1. So yes, it's slow. Oh my, this one's already buffered completely. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, this one's going to be a bit slower because of that. We'll up it in the future if we need to. I assume this gives us 1,000 per... Oh no, it only gives us... Why did I think it would give us 1,000? Yeah, so we do actually need 500 of each to be able to make the thing. So it's not perfect. But again, we can up the star metal ore if necessary. And just a little update, I have actually changed the whole platform. And this is so that it fits with the actual periodic table. And the only reason I hadn't done that in the first place was because I didn't actually realize half of these were real elements. So yeah, very clever of me there. But yeah, I've put them all now. There's only 2 that aren't real elements, and that's MeatballCraft and something else. I've put them here for now. I'm probably going to move them to here. It depends on the periodic table you look at, what's actually there. Sometimes it's these 2. So I'll think before I actually start making those sides and decide what I'll put here instead. But apart from that, yes, here it is, the periodic table. I also messed up because I was trying to focus it around the most complicated setup, this one, and I still did it wrong, so I had to move everything. But I've now finished moving everything, so I can continue on with Serum, I think, that we're on to. Yeah, so I'm just making the setup for that. Everything else is exactly the same. I've just moved it, which did take a while, but I like it being the periodic table more, so it's not too bad. And here is our Serum setup, and it's actually not as bad as it looks. It's fairly simple. So let's start from the beginning. So this is a recipe for Serum. So we need to get resplendent ingots and attuned celestial crystals. So to get the celestial crystal, We first begin by taking Fluix crystals from the system, putting them in a manufactory, pressurizing them into Fluix seeds, putting them into a crystal growth chamber, putting them into a crafter with a whispering meatball to make possessed Fluix, which goes into a crafter with some seeds and some sugarcane, which I should probably speed up now that we're using the stuff, and that creates us the attuned crystal. It can be any attuned crystal. I've just gone for this one because seeds and sugarcane are easy to get. Possessed Fluix has two uses, however. The other use is it is put into a fluid enricher with Whispering Starlight to duplicate it. This is on self-feed, so self-feed's got a higher priority, so there'll always be more on the fluid enricher than in this drum, and we have a buffer here which we've actually almost already filled up with Whispering Starlight, so that's pretty good. Now, to get resplendent ingots, we need to use this, but to begin with, we'll need rupee and alamite. And I could take it from the system, but I've decided to use the Twilight Horde Queen. This is sped up just at the moment, so I had enough to put in the drawers. But basically, we take the Twilight Comb, put it in a centrifugal separator. It creates 3 ores, the realmite, alamite, rupee. This is put into a redstone furnace. I've put a flux anodizer upgrade in here so it doubles. This comes out the other side into the crafter to create shadow bars, which goes to actually get the resplendent ingots. I have Whispering Starlight going into the fluid input hatch. I have shadow bars going into this input hatch. It should apparently be enough, but now it's saying it's missing oh no, there we go. Oh, maybe it does a stack at a time, that's why it's being a bit slow. I don't think this, it does have a speed upgrade, it's just taking its time. That produces resplendent ingots at actually quite a fast rate when we have enough shadow bars, and there we have all our ingredients. The final step is I take all the ingredients, so this over here, this from there, and blaze powder from in here, and we put it into a crafter and we get Serum. And we've already got quite a bit, so yeah, it's actually a really simple setup. It should be pretty much completely just stuff here, and we've got tons of the Fluix crystals, so it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, 1.9 million, so this will buffer. I haven't upgraded this drawer, so that will stop this. I wanted a big buffer anyway, and yeah, this is a single buffer just so that we had enough there. But yeah, Serum complete. Now, if nothing's gone wrong, we should be able to order 1 stack of Mortum stars. Ooh, that wasn't too bad, and it's slightly cheaper for us because I bothered to make the Ruthenium instead of just doing the other recipe. So well done me. And if I look in the system, there we have it, our Mortum star. We did it. Woohoo! No, that wasn't too bad at all. Now we've got the Mortum star, I've made a spatial crucible. It's just here, and we are making the universal matter. Again, I haven't automated it like none of the other ones, but I've chucked a bunch of stuff in there. It's working. It makes 2,000 per Mortum star. I'm just waiting for some Dynatos catalysts to get made, and we should be good. I'll chuck in, get enough of a backlog. It should hopefully keep us going for a bit, and I think now it should be able to make the Shire Lands mythic resource miner. However, I think that's all we have time for today, so that'll have to wait until the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.